Hello, my name is Shadowlair, and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Papal States. In previous episode we managed to annex a bit of nations in here, and it seems like we're getting a bit better in things, although we got a bit of bureaucracy shortage right now, which is costing us quite a bit of money. It's not all the cost, but I suppose the interest plus the unrealized taxes is basically all the deficit we have right now. But anyway, I'm sure that we can fix that in due time. We are going to be increasing our steel production in Piedmont, which will hopefully also be conducive to building a motor industries, actually. I think we do need one, or at least one in there. But we are losing a lot of money, but luckily, the next research is going to be Central Archives, which will, in fact, give us a bit more bureaucracy, fixing the deficit there. Although it might cause some other expenditures, so it's not necessarily all profit, but it's less deficit. Let's put it that way. We got our colony in Africa slowly growing. It's already... Actually, how much is that population-wise? It's already 500,000 people in there. That's not too shabby. There's a bit of plantation and such in there. Not industries, mind you, but it's providing us with some crucial resources for sure. And our literary rate has been growing to a, well, relatively steadily. Of course, we still need to build a whole lot more universities to get the innovation to be maxed out. I'm sure that we can manage that in due time. Right now we've got quite a shortage of... Actually, we do have a bit of shortage of dyes. But also some liquor. And of course a huge shortage of engines. But that's something that we'll start working towards. We are also getting some extension for our tooling workshop in Sardinia. We built one level for it already. It's using some iron locally and probably some wood actually locally as well. Are they producing hardwood in there? Do they... We don't need to go for that high hardwood production, that's for sure. That's actually going to reduce the deficit a decent bit already. And yeah, we don't... Oh yeah, we actually got a abundance of wood right now. That's good. We're also improving relations with both San Marco and Tuscany. Look how we're probably already pretty much maxed out with relations here, so we can't really do much about that. We've got an alliance with you, and our relations are still slowly going up. So I think if we reach 80% or 80 relations, I'm not entirely sure. So the first episode has gone live yesterday, or last night for me, when recording this. So there's been some comments pointing out that they might have to be in the same market as I am, which might not then work for us. Oh, more taxation capacity, and there we go. Home Affairs Institution investment, and let's first of all fix our bureaucracy issue. It's going to cost us quite a bit in paper, mind you, but that extra bureaucracy will give us quite a bit of money. I suppose it also makes the paper mills a bit... Oh, alright, North Cameroon. We might need to extend some of these, but that's alright. We don't have any... Yeah, no, we don't have the paper bleaching yet as an option, but that's alright. So now we're losing only about £6,000 a week, which is still quite a substantial amount, mind you. Oh, central banking is spreading. Okay, that's actually pretty handy. And that's going to be more minting and less interest rate. So that is definitely useful. We're also getting the general staff, so that allows us... We're actually also getting the munitions plant already, which once we get the general staff, we can then start utilizing the munitions from there. Other than that, we're building the port in Piedmont to make sure that we get a little bit more convoys, and of course, just have a better infrastructure in there right now. Since we... Oh, we got a tax collection issue there. Is that so? I guess so. Also, we got some... Oh, Treaty of Turin. The province of Savoy has become a matter of contention between our nation and France. If we're willing to cede Savoy, France would surely consider themselves to be in our debt. So that would give us one obligation. I'm actually going to do that. So we gave those away, which does mean that we got a little bit less production for things, but that's alright. That kind of means also a bit less radicals of our population, so we might not turn into a republic as easily. So we do have a bit of tax collection issue down here, so we might want to go ahead and build up a government administration building. Probably more than one. So there is still some tax waste or unrealized taxes. £1,700, which isn't great, and the interest rates are definitely slowly growing. But now we've got one obligation, we just need another one. Oh, right, yeah, we don't have interest in Occitania anymore. How many... We could have a second one. Maybe we'll put in an interest there just in case. And I'm guessing we've got a fairly good relation with France, right? Relatively good. We could probably improve that back to the top. Or max it out. How much would it cost for us to Bankroll. No, we can't bankroll. Oh, we don't have central banking, right? That makes sense. So getting another obligation might be a little bit difficult, but that's alright. Meanwhile, both us and the Dutch are colonizing equal territories here. Soon there's not going to be much left of that. In all honesty, but that's fine by me. There we go, we got the interest in France again, although we didn't necessarily need it. We got a GDP of 11 million, so we did lose a little bit by losing those two states, or partial state and then that state. But that at least is now the historical border in there. Does that actually mean also that... oh yeah, we need less areas for Italy. Yeah, it's 11 now total. So Savoy was one of those that was then removed from there. That's good to know. Emilia is something that we'll hopefully get. I mean, unfortunately, look how we haven't gotten... No. We haven't been able to get that. If we can improve our... The attitude is pretty good. If I can improve my GDP a bit higher than theirs, and then offer them obligation, we can change them to our market, and then they'll surely join us, and that would give us the entire state there. Tuscany, I don't know if they are willing to... No, they don't really want to join in yet. And we don't have any trade routes between us. What do they sell, actually? They got a bit of tools, fish, so they don't really have a lot. What do they need in large quantities, then? Liquor, clothing, do I have a lot in my market? Not really, we're pretty balanced on clothing. We've got a decent bit of wood, but they also had some extra wood already in there. We've got some iron. We've got a lot of wine, but I suspect that they don't really need wine that badly. They got their own vineyards. They're building more vineyards as well, so that's not really going to be conducive. You know, we could still probably go ahead and export some clothing to them. That way it's presumably... Did it actually start the trade route? Yes, it did. There we go, so that is profitable for us. And that will also maybe allow us to then get the trade agreement with them at some point, although they're not willing to take it quite yet. Oh, they got a GDP higher than 2 million, so that's they won't necessarily, or they're less likely to join into our market. Fair enough. Spain is importing some of our wood now. Okay, I mean, that's good. We're getting a bit of money, although I suppose some of the expenditures are growing with that. So Emilia's got a little bit of standard of living problem there still, but I suppose that's partially, not entirely, but there's infrastructure issues there. There is no peasants available right now, so I suppose one of the things that we might want to do in here is start using a bit more coal to reduce the workforce needed, and that way we can get the most out of it, really. That being said, the options are a little bit limited. Of course, big problem is the engines. Now we are... Oh, right, we're getting a paper mill in Piedmont. We're also going to get another paper mill in our capital. We'll get the motor industry in Piedmont before that. How is the steel mill? It is hiring. It seems to be making a profit. No, actually, it's not hiring anymore, but it's... Oh, wait, no, that's Ars Academy, not the... Wrong building. You know, it's not making that massive profit. I wonder if they... You know what, yeah, we'll put the water tube boiler there. Reduces the worker need a little bit, although that might also reduce the profitability a bit further. Right now, I mean, how's the... There's actually a lot of peasants available in here. How's the... Did we have... We do have a tooling workshop in here. If we put steel tools in here, then that might reduce the iron use, or reduce the iron price, improve the profitability of the iron. And education has gone to level 3 now, that's good. We could probably increase another institution. Law enforcement is a possibility. Home affairs would give us more conscription rate. Social security would be maybe okay. Actually, we're almost turning a profit now. We don't necessarily want to rock the boat. Oh, there we go. We are turning a profit. A small one, but it's a profit nonetheless. And there's a lot of subsidies. What are we giving the subsidies for? Railway. Ah, right. We're trying to buy the stuff. Okay, well, once we get the motor industries, that's going to fix the issue, I reckon. We could also do a bit more trade routes in the meanwhile. But he needs to improve relations. So what do we have a lot? We've got some coffee. We've got a little bit of glass, not a lot though. We've got some hardwood that we could maybe export to Danes, sure. There's quite a bit of convoys that are used for that, but that's going to give us a bit more money, making our woodcutting a bit more profitable. Oh, right, we can't improve relations with Tuscany any further. So I don't suspect that... oh, I could propose a trade agreement, but I have to give the obligation for them for that. Or defensive pact. Let's do the defensive pact first. We'll give the obligation there. There we go. Now that means that our relations are going to go further up, and that might also maybe later on, we can't do that of course now then, but later on we might be able to invite them into a customs union and then they would join in. to our glorious nation. So general staff is almost done. After that, it's going to be the nice glycerin. Will be quite handy. Once we can pay off a little bit of the loans, we'll of course try to reduce the taxes a little bit, because we've got fairly high, or very high taxes right now. Of course, it's only the land-based taxation. I don't think we can change the... We could try to go for agrarianism, actually. There's a bit of support for it. That would still be better than the traditionalism, quite frankly. Although that would require a bit more bureaucracy, but yeah, that would be better. Can we get the industrialists into the government? We could. It would reduce the legitimacy a little bit, but yeah, if we bring these in, then we could try getting the interventionism even. 28%? No one's really opposing it, so that's fine. So there we go. If we can get interventionism, that will increase the construction speed. We've got a 3 million investment pool there, so we can utilize that for a lot more. And there's a general staff researched. Ah, right, so did we get the munitions plant already? We did. It's not really making a profit right now. Let's go ahead and switch our troop to use the skirmish infantry now. Actually, we got this army that isn't really needed anymore. So we got two armies. We got one in the Africa. We call it the Papal African army just to make it a bit easier to see which one which. So look, I don't suppose... No, we still can't switch you to our market, although it's not that far. Ammunition shortage is going to be a thing for a little while, but as soon as this one starts making a bit of... well, it starts hiring people, it'll make a lot of profit, and it will provide probably enough ammunition. I mean, it should be providing up to 50. So I think that will be more than enough, quite frankly. And now we've got a bit of explosive shortage, which does mean that the explosive factory will also start hiring some people. So that will kickstart both of those industries now. Of course, since we don't have any explosive stuff right now. So what is spreading in the military now? It is the screw frigate. Okay, we'll take that one then. And then there is, after that, it's just going to be the shell gun, actually. And then it's going to be the tier 3s. So in production, we're going to be getting the nitroglycerin. Then hopefully we could probably queue up the railways already, because that's something we are going to start needing desperately. We haven't gotten the motor industries up here yet, but at least the steel mill is now profitable. It's producing as much as it can. Actually, I wonder if hand assembly, yeah, that would actually be slightly more profitable. They'll need to hire some more people now, but that's fine. That does mean that the more people at least get a job, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. So Sardinia's got a bit of issue with infrastructure, so let's go ahead and build another level 4 for that. I don't know, well, one level should, technically speaking, be enough. We'll build a second level there just in case, because there's probably going to be some extension or expansions in here later on. And now we're losing a bit of money, admittedly. 2,700 pounds per week, but that's manageable for now. I mean, we can't really... Oh, free agreement from Denmark. I will reduce the... Paris, you know what? I will take it. It will reduce the money a little bit, but it's not too bad. But that does mean that we could maybe trade a little bit more with them. What do they have in their market, actually? Got a lot of meat, some fruits, a bit of tobacco as well. They do have some dyes, and some clippers, fish, in fairly high quantities, actually. Actually, it's probably better to have a look at the... Oh, they need a lot of wood. They also need some fertilizer, which I don't know if we have in our market in large quantities, do we? Not really. I mean, we've got a little bit of production, but the fertilizer plant over here isn't hiring fully yet. So that could be increased further. So let's actually go ahead and... actually, no, what I should really be doing is improving or increasing trade between us and Tuscany, shouldn't we? Right, they got a little bit sell orders for fertilizer. They don't or use it all that much. Okay. What else do they need? They need a lot of liquor. It might be slightly profitable. So we'll do that, and since we don't actually have to pay any bureaucracy for these trades, that's actually going to be very handy. Can't quite invite them to the customs union, nor propose trade agreement, of course, since we can't offer a obligation right now. That's oh right, so trade agreement, they would actually take it now. Okay, I mean, I'll take it. If I don't, oh, they're offering it already. I guess we'll accept that then. So now we're getting slightly closer to the point that where they might actually join the customs union and then join the Papal States sooner or later. How's the relations with Two Sicilies? Got cordial relations, we can probably improve that a bit further. Yeah, it's not too bad. Of course, trying to invite them into our customs is going to be a bit tricky, but we've got 11.6 million GDP now, 37.6 literary rate. The standard of living is a bit poor right now, but it will be improving over time once we start industrializing a bit further. At least we've got the coal mines in Piedmont, which will be very, very useful. Now, how's the relations with San Marco? We're still at neutral, so they're not quite willing to do a lot of things with us, let's be honest. Ooh, rousing speech captures the public. There's a 15% chance for the interventionism, or extra chance, or industrialists get more power. I think right now we'll just try to get the interventionism as quickly as possible, so that we can, or we don't have to pay as much for the construction. That's actually going to be basically making us a £4,000 per week profit by that point, if it was switched now. Of course, later on it might change even further. But yeah, that will be a lot more money that we'll save in construction. We're currently losing £1,000 per week, but that's okay. Now it's almost 1,800. Oh, right, we're getting motor engines in Emilia as well. All right then. I mean, I suppose there is the railways there, so they definitely need that, or could use that. We don't have a railway up here yet. I'm hoping that soon enough, well, in due time, we'll start researching that. We can't really afford building more universities right now to increase the innovation, but at least we can increase the literary rate a bit further. But I don't know if we'll be able to get all the techs in this playthrough or not. But we'll definitely be focusing on the universities a lot more this time around than we did in the, well, most of the previous runs, really. We've got a good 8.7 million population, so we did lose a little bit with the ceding of Savoy and part of Provence. But at the same time, at least that keeps France on our good side, I suppose. I could propose a trade agreement, but I have to offer the obligation or join the French market, but I don't really want to do that, quite frankly. Oh, there we go. How much do we have population in Niger now? It's almost 600,000, so yeah, it's quite a bit of population per province there. I think, or bit of the state there. We might want to get another dye plantation in there, just for the heck of it, because I suspect that we will need a bit more of that. And do we have any market access problems? Sardinia is still a bit of a problem. We got some low organization. Oh, we got no commanders. Oh. Well, the African army doesn't need one, and the fleet doesn't necessarily... Actually, fleet could definitely use... We'll take the clergy option there. A bit less bureaucracy, but that's manageable. Is there anything that we might want to... Oh, right, that's unproductive trade now. Oh, right, yeah, we can stop that one now. So, we do still kind of need some engines. We do need a lot of liquor. I'll buy some from the Dutch. Of course, that is one of the things that we could just fix by increasing our food industry production a bit further. Although, that one doesn't seem to be quite profitable. That one's not really profitable either. So what's the problem there then? Sugar price is a bit high. Alright then, well, that's another thing that we could... Oh, we got some actions for the Risorgimento. But let's go ahead and queue up another sugar plantation there. And then let's have a look at the actions. So we can spur unification and encourage national... or Italian nationalism again. So maybe these two areas will also split off from Austria. And maybe some of the others will, or the nationalists will take power in other areas. We've got a defensive pact with Tuscany now, so there's a good chance that eventually we'll be able to invite them in. Of course, ideological differences do cause a bit of issue there. Ooh, people of playwright. I'm going to take the prestige for that. If we can become a major power, that might allow us to actually... Again, I'm just theorizing in here, but that might allow us to become the unification candidate. And thus we could maybe launch the play. Nitroglycerin unlocked. There we go. So we could start using dynamites in, or nitroglycerin in the mines, but that usually leads to a lot of deaths and more mortality, so it's not really good. But in the explosive factory, at least we got a new option. A bit more paper being used. That provides a lot more explosives. Oh, and chemical bleaching is spreading. Okay, so it didn't start spreading the railways yet. I guess we'll just go with the chemical bleaching. I mean, that will allow us to get more porcelain, which is kind of useful. We do need it. Armed forces get the offense and defense boost now, so that's also quite nice. Intelligentsia and rule folk aren't exactly happy, but everyone else seems to be relatively in good spirits. We've got 41% chance of getting the interventions in, or 40%, somewhere around there. But it's not quite completed yet, at least. Well, there we go. Now we're making money. I'm going to wait until we get to at least 1 million, or at most 1 million credit before we start reducing any of the taxes or anything like that. Or start building some more universities or whatnot. So how are we doing on the market? What is there in high demand? There's still pretty high demand for porcelain. Now, of course, the glass isn't all that high value is the problem. Unless we can... Actually, it's probably in urban. The urban centers, if we start using market squares in everywhere, that'll cause a bit more demand for glass and wood. It'll provide a lot more services, some better jobs for people. So that might actually be a bit of a boost for the glass production. And thus actually be somewhat profitable. Plus also the lower... oh. Wow, the liquor tax is giving us 10,000. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, I don't suppose there's any... Okay, that's only a 1,000 porcelain. And luxury furniture is much better than that. But regardless, we're getting pretty good, decent money from those taxes. Of course, it's very high taxes right now, so that's part of the issue. At least we are getting through some of that. We're getting now the port in Sardinia. First of 2, and then after that we'll get the... Oh, actually, we're building both of them at the same time. Right, then the dye plantation and sugar plantation in Papal Nigeria, or Papal Niger, rather. Then that way we can hopefully get a little bit cheaper stuff, and also that might allow us to produce maybe even a bit more clothing. Although I suppose, speaking of which, we got some textile mills, for example, in our capital. The dye price is a bit high, that's a big problem there. But we could probably build another level for that. And an ultimatum. The Civic nobility have issued a stern ultimatum to Bernardino Naitana about showing the party's line on the proposal for interventionism. Bernardino Naitana is determined to resist. So either nobility gets more interest. There's a, you know, we'll take that one. There's a chance that we'll get... No, okay, we didn't get the bonus from there. So that does mean the landowners are actually a bit more influential right now. But we'll survive, I do reckon. Don't have a huge amount of influence, but still improving relations with 2 Sicilies and San Marco. Look how we can't really do too much. Oh, I could change using my customs union. Yes, please. And then how about you join up? It'll probably take a little while for them to join in, but that will give us the entire state there. And then, of course, hopefully after that we'll have a bit more GDP, and Tuscany might be more inclined to maybe also join in. Ooh, Britain is improving relations with us. Well, that's handy. And our living is still relatively poor. I mean, it's, well, I say early game, we're almost 30 years into the game. So, it's not initially all that great. We'll probably want to increase that a lot. Especially for a European nation and all that, it's pretty bad, actually. But also, once we start getting some transportation and that sort of stuff, will no doubt make it a little bit easier. At least the population is growing. And the courier, of course, is very happy, so we get 5% birth rate. Oh, wow. And 20% authority. So yeah, that's the primary reason why we have a lot of authority right now. Well, it's not the only reason, mind you, but it's one of the big ones. So the Sardinia has gotten 1 level of the port already, so that's fixing the infrastructure issues to some degree. It might not have hired enough people yet. Actually, no, it has, but... Wait, does the port itself require infrastructure? No. There's just not quite enough in there. But at least the market access has improved. And the standard of living is probably improving as well now. Well, there we go. Now we've got the infrastructure required. Unification with Lucca. Diplomacy has won today. There we go. And that gives us a lot more influence. And now we've got a full state in here, which does still have a bit of issues with infrastructure. The railway is at least providing some urbanization or infrastructure in there. But it's not quite... Although now we could probably just build a port in there. And fix the infrastructure issues. There is probably a bit of a lack of, yeah, there's definitely a bit of lack of workers in there. We'd also maybe start using some steel for the rifles instead of the iron. Bit more tools. That's alright. So we'll have more small arms. Fishing is okay as it is. Plantations we can't really do much. Like that. So yeah, it is pretty much as good as can be. So we've still got market access problems at Emilia, but that's about it actually. Everything else seems to be mostly in a good shape now. We're getting even some money. Although, how much would it cost to build another university? If we have a look at the price over here, what would it say for the cost? So it's about 3... Okay, it's not that bad. We'll go ahead and get a university in here. Oh, and we complete... Oh, we've got 1 university already. Get a second one. So, we've colonized the state. We haven't colonized a... full state, mind you. But we don't colonize in here right now, and I suppose we can start actually incorporating it. It would take 20 years though, but sure. We'll do that. Now, is there any other colonies that we could maybe try doing? Not really. We could try going for Congo or maybe South Africa, but there's a lot of potential issues there. But we'll put an interest in Congo regardless. We could maybe do a conqueror of Congo, the nation in here. Maybe start colonizing next to it first, but we'll need to get the interest in there first. And as soon as we got that, we could maybe start colonizing Longo. It will be very slow with the severe malaria. This got within the rule folk. But there's about this bill shall pass. We'll get another 15% chance, so we've now got 56%. I'm guessing that will probably pass now. Well, I'll start progressing now. We've got 57%. But we haven't really had any bad modifiers happening in there either. There we go, we're getting this sugar plantation. So how much did we actually have total population in here? 650,000. It's not too bad. And the Congo interest has activated. Oh, the Dutch are colonizing Gabon. I think we are just going to go... Oh no, I can't establish a colony. Because we don't have quinine. Oh my goodness. How far are we from that? We still can't research it, actually. Although central banking is going to be done soon. Hopefully pharmaceutical is going to be the next one. So I don't really have colonies to found there. Although I could always just conquer Congo, I suppose. And then once we are ready, start colonizing further inland. So that's one option. And I don't think... yeah, no, that's Dutch Ghana. So we can't really... I suppose we could conquer Benin. That would be another state in here. But I suppose we need to colonize a full state. So that's easier said than done. Oh well, the French are expanding there, the British are in here, the Dutch are in here, we are in here. Of course, there's some African states in there as well. But France is colonizing Gabon. Okay, there's a bit of a competition there, I suppose. Central banking is almost done. That's going to start saving us a bit more in the interest rates. And we're still paying some subsidies, although the subsidies have gone down a little bit in price, so that's good. But of course, the price or the wages are probably pretty high in here. I'd imagine anyway. Oh yeah, it's mostly wage subsidies and input goods subsidies. There's the central banking, so more minting, so now we're making pretty good money. We are going to be building a university, yes, in Emilia. Also a port in there. And textile mill in our capital, so now we're making £2,000. How much would we... That's 9,000, okay, we can't quite afford that one. Well, at least we can pay back some of the loans in the meanwhile. Now, as soon as we get the interventions, it will be making a lot of money. We can start reducing the taxes a little bit. We've got already 30 million GDP. So that's been slowly growing. Now, if we have a look at Italy, we've got 11 out of the... Or 6 out of the 11 that we need to have. And it's got 16 total. So if we can get Tuscany, and that would be another one. We could form an alliance with them. I would have to offer a... obligation. How bad is that? It's... Oh, right, 70 obligations. So it's -5 without the obligation. Oh, corporate charters are spreading. Actually, that's not a bad one either. I'll queue that one up. So now we're getting the frigate, and after that it's going to be the shell gun, so I suppose we can queue that one up already. And we'll just switch to the production screen and hope that we get the... I mean, the distillation improvement wouldn't be bad either. That does remind me, though, would the food industries be more profitable now? They are at least making a bit of profit. But I suppose the fish price is a bit higher, so that's another thing that we could probably increase. So what's the private sector doing? They're building a silk plantation, another shipyard, a furniture manufacturing. Alright, we've got quite a few things underway. But I do realise that we are actually out of time for this episode, so if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.